How do you express yourself through clothing? Is it by wearing certain clothes that fit the popular trend, the certain colors that you wear, or the certain styles that show who you truly are? The speech that I'm presenting is to help the audience understand that students should not be forced to wear school uniforms, because doing so can hinder students from being able to express themselves, present individuality to society, and can also be very costly. It's always a big debate on whether schools should implement uniforms, and even though wearing them might prevent bullying amongst the students in the school environment, uniforms can limit the number of outlets for creativity and self-expression, which can cause a child to lose their self-identity. Not only do they lose their self-identity, but according to Michelle Kuzman in her article, Why School Uniforms Are a Bad Idea, she states that students also lose their rights to express themselves through fashion. By taking away a student's right to express themselves through what they wear, you are taking away their constitutional rights, like the First Amendment, which states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Alana Fisherman, a student at the University School of NSU, who wrote the article, School Uniforms Stifle Creativity, also agrees that school uniforms hinders a student's creativity, stating, but it stifles a student's creativity, detracts from his or her overall learning experience, and it transforms school corridors into seas of blandly outfitted automatons, which is quite true. Most times, wearing school uniforms can shift the classroom attention from interior coverage to midriff coverage, resulting in a less fulfilling learning experience. Because of this implementation, teachers and school administration will spend most of their time making sure that children are wearing their proper uniforms and fit the code by 100%, and in doing so, this can take away from teachers' teaching time and a child's learning experience, which will later hinder the learning academic experience. Our life motto is always to be different and always to be ourselves. By wearing uniforms, that takes away our individuality from kids, causing them to do whatever they can in order to be different and to stand out. And that can increase a negative behavioral issue. In the article, Hello Motherhood by Amy M. Armstrong, she stated that as children's needs for individuality increases, the resentment towards uniform also increases, causing students to do other things that they can in order to express themselves, like wearing inappropriate hairstyles, jewelry, and makeup, and some students even get inappropriate tattoos when told not to choose their own clothing. Or it might cause a student to act out, behaving in a sense that they become rebellious, the people who have authority over them, not only because they're being forced to wear uniforms, but because they want to stand out. Restricting a child from individuality can also stunt that child's growth. McCarthy Coleman, a national Catholic reporter, wrote in his article, Uniforms, Not a Cure for School Ills, stated, a very important and underrated part of high school and college is the development of a child's personality. Forcing a student to conform to a uniform mandated from high above will stunt this part of a student's growth. This is also a true statement. Forcing a child to look like another child gives them the same characteristic of a clone child. Their own individuality ceases to exist, which stunts them from growing their own personality and becoming their own self. Buying school uniforms for your child can cost you a lot of money. According to the article in publicschoolreview.com by Grace Shen, an avid education researcher and writer, parents often argue that the costs for uniforms are steep. They would have to pay for the uniforms up front at the beginning of the school year and then little expenses as time passes. But most of these uniforms are collared or polo shirts of various colors, khakis or black pants, black or brown belts and shoes, and solid colored sweaters. And most of these items ranges from $7 to $60, depending if you get them from JCPenney, Kohl's, or the school's website. Buying these items in bulks can most certainly drain your pockets, especially if the clothes spoil or need to be replaced. Then you're forced to kick out another $7 to $60 And some people can argue that it's better to buy everything upfront rather than spend money every semester, quarterly, or monthly. But in the same article, parents argue that not only did they have to buy their kids uniforms for school, but they had to buy regular stay-at-home or going out clothes because their kids didn't only want to have uniforms in their wardrobe, and together that cost even more money. In conclusion, if we care about the sanity and prosperity of our students, we shouldn't force them into complying with something that diminishes their creativity to express themselves, their ability to carry out individuality in their own society, and can someday make them or their parents be in debt. If we really cared about them, we would push them to use their wardrobe to have and embrace that freedom to express who they truly are as a person. And we want them to grow and to be able to have their own identities instead of being a clone. I hope this speech influenced you to say no to school uniforms and saying yes to freedom. Thank you.